Hello, Tim from Fair Play now on the 27th of April 2024. So there's something that I've seen knocking around the freedom movement and the Telegram groups on and off here and there over the last 3 years, but I don't think I've ever talked about it on this channel, or maybe I did just kind of once perhaps, probably because it just seems so outlandish that it's almost certainly not true, not going to come to fruition. And that's something called the Deagel report, spelled like Beagle the dog, but with a D for Delta in front. And it came out, I think it was something like 2017, and it's basically a load of predictions about what the populations of various countries are going to be in 2025, and it involves some quite massive reductions for quite a lot of countries, especially Western countries. If you're in Latin America or Far East, it's not quite so bad, I don't think. But certainly for the UK, I think their predictions were that it's going to go down from wherever we are now, 65, 70 million, down to just 15 million. The United States are going to go down from wherever they are now, 300 odd million, down to under 100 million, something like 70 or 80 million. And the same for a lot of other countries. I think Australia, New Zealand, Germany, France, Italy. We're all looking at similar kind of vast reductions, and many other countries as well. And it just seems so preposterous. How, for example, if we stick with the UK, how are we going to go down from kind of 70 million to 15 million? And it's 2024 now, and they're kind of running out of time for these predictions to come true. And there's still one or two ways it could happen, but I think they can't sort of bring in another lurgy and another round of those, which are going to knock out a lot of people. It's a bit too late for that. Obviously they can't do sort of kind of stuff that was done in the Second World War in various places. That's not going to be an option. But there is one way where it could still happen, and that is through mass starvation. If the sort of crops failed this year and the shops were empty by, supermarket shelves were empty by, I don't know, October, people were getting really, really hungry and not able to get any food anywhere by end of November, and people were starving to death by the end of the year, start of next year. That is one way in which it could happen. Now, I'm only mentioning this because you've probably noticed, I don't know what it's like if you're in another country. I'd be interested in your thoughts if you're in Europe, Ireland, Canada, America, etc. But here in the UK, especially the part I'm in, it's just been, as you can see, it's 9 degrees today, according to the thermometer on my van, and leaden grey skies, and rain, just constant rain. And it's been like this pretty much since the start of the year, or end of last year as well. And we're here late April now, and normally we would have seen a good number of really nice sunny spring-like days with temperatures getting up to the mid-high teens Celsius, but nothing like that. Well, might have had the odd day where it was fairly sunny and temperatures were getting up to sort of maybe 13, 14, but even those you can count on the fingers of one hand over the last 2 months or so. And it's just the same every single day. And I know a lot of people are starting to say that the farmers are beginning to struggle to get their crops sown, or if they are sowing the crops, they're getting ruined because there's too much water lying around. And you have to sort of also ask the question, is this natural? These sort of leaden grey skies which just go on day after day after day, is it natural? I know, Kay, we're in the UK, we're sort of renowned for not particularly brilliant weather at the best of times, but I don't think I've ever known a period where the sun's just appeared so little and the skies have been grey so much. I normally get a sunny day and then 2 or 3 grey days, and then with maybe a bit of rain, maybe not, and then another couple of sunny days, and then 3 or 4 rainy days, that kind of thing. But we've just literally had no sun at all for, well, I think there was a Saturday a couple of weeks ago when I was down in Tisbury where it was fairly pleasant, like I say, but certainly for the last 2 weeks, it's just, I don't think I've seen any sun. It's just been really, really grey and cloudy and appalling. And I also asked the question, again, tell me if it is different in your country, but here in the UK, in the spring of 2020, when the old lockdown started, you might recall that glorious, glorious weather. It was just day after day after day of sun and lovely blue skies. And I just wonder, if things would have gone the government's way quite as well if it hadn't have been for that kind of weather. If the weather had been like this, for instance, all the way through March and April, just rain and grey skies, would people have sort of enjoyed lockdown so much? Would they have put up with it so much? Or would we be getting to this kind of time in late April and people would be really starting to kick off about it? Because remember, the UK was an absolutely crucial country for the powers that shouldn't be to kind of get on board with the whole lockdown and lurgy thing. If we'd sort of rejected it, I think pretty much the whole of the rest of the world would have rejected it as well. But because they got us on board, things went well for them. And so you have to ask the question, was that blue sky, constant sunshine that we had this time 4 years ago, was that natural? Or was it sort of somehow engineered? And is this weather we're having now engineered? We had a very cold, wet, grey, chilly spring last year, which probably didn't do the crops any good, and now we've got the same this year. So it's 2 years on the trot. So again, you have to ask yourself, is this natural, all of this grey stuff, or is it again being sort of done on purpose? And you might think, Tim, you crazy conspiracy theorist, you, but this geoengineering stuff and cloud seeding, it's not conspiracy theory, is it? The mainstream are talking about it now. A lot of mainstream people have been woken up to it now, thanks to the Dubai thing, I think. And so it's not conspiracy theory like a lot of them. They 1 minute it's so-called conspiracy theory, and then it goes mainstream. So, and that's exactly what's happened with this cloud seeding thing. And I was having a conversation with a couple, complete sort of mainstream people, but the husband was switched on about cloud seeding. I told him about the 1952 Lynmouth thing, which, if you don't know about that, just look it up. It's a disaster that happened in southern England in 1952, where the RAF sort of cloud seeded and caused a massive flood in this village called Lynmouth, and killed about 30 or 40 people through it. And and that was done way back in the 50s. So heaven knows what they can do now. The mind boggles. But so this mainstream guy, knew all about that. The wife, she didn't. She was actually saying, "How have I got to my age?" Because she's in her 60s. How have I got to 60 something? And I've never even heard about cloud seeding. I didn't say this, but I felt like answering, because it's one of those things that was called a crazy conspiracy theory until a couple of weeks ago. That's probably why you haven't heard of it, because you're not into that world. But it has gone mainstream. And just getting back to the point, my original point, how much of this chemtrailing, cloud seeding, whatever you want to call it, is going on, and what is afoot? Is all of this stuff we're seeing now, is it engineered? And if it is, what's the goal of it all? Is it to kind of start causing food shortages and then leading on from there to worse things in order to fulfill the Deagel report predictions? Who knows? But I think one thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to get myself onto a foraging course. There's one I know of, funnily enough, down at the Hope Sussex Education and kind of Awakened Community Hub there in East Sussex. I've just completed 2 days there. Actually, I was doing some electrical work for them, so which was quite fun and different. So working with and alongside sort of awake people, it's always good news. So putting in some new lights and sockets for them. And a few other bits and bobs as well. So they actually do, alongside a lot of other fantastic things, like a foraging course. So I might get myself booked onto one of those. Will do actually. And I think if you've got the ability to go out there into your local woods and fields and things, forage and make up soup, a hearty soup, because I don't know about you, but I could probably live on a bowl or maybe a couple of bowls of hearty soup and maybe a hunk of bread pretty much indefinitely, if that's all I could get to eat. Occasionally maybe you'd be able to sort of scrounge a bit of meat from somewhere or whatever and then chop that up into a soup, but you could live like that. But if you could just go out there, get the right plants and sort of forage the right stuff and make up a soup. So I might have to get myself onto a soup making course as well, find out how to do it properly. There are a couple of things I might do or will do over the course of the spring and summer. And tell me what you think about what I've said. This has just been a brain dump, really. I am quite hacked off, just woke up this morning to the same old chilliness, grey skies, and I'm a bit hacked off about it all. I notice Richard Vobes has done a video, I think it was yesterday. He looked equally as hacked off as I am here, talking about similar, not quite the same things, but similar things as this. And do let me know what you think about this. But I just wanted to have a bit of a brain dump, tell you my thoughts. Probably not the most optimistic video I've ever made, but hey, I've got to just say things how I see them. So that's my thoughts. Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and I'll be back soon. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.